All right, so I'm going to try something a little different for this week's news week. This is for December 22nd to December 28th. And it wasn't a huge news week compared to previous weeks, but there's still a bit going on. So first thing is, normally I don't go over Tesla finance or anything like that, the stock, but I did want to go over it just briefly. Our Tesla stock hit an all-time high of 420, and then it continued to go up. 420 is only relevant because Elon had tweeted out last year that funding was secured and that the stock was going to go private if they hit $420. After which the stock basically tanked, and well, now we're back up to it. It got as high as about 433, I think is the highest I saw this week. But anyways, that's it for Tesla stock news. The software update that Elon had tweeted about also came out. It was 2019.40.50.1, and it included quite a bit of changes. So the first thing is that there were a lot of visual changes of what shows up on the screen here. That is only for cars that have Autopilot 3 hardware, and then have full self-driving purchased as well. Some of the visualizations that are included are things like the arrows that show up on the ground, the lines at stop signs, and actual stop signs themselves. Stoplights show up. One of the cool things about the stoplights showing up actually is that they'll on the screen show or reflect the actual color of the light that's showing. And if there's arrows in the lights, those will show up as well. If they're blinking, that'll show up in real time. So just a bunch of cool little features. Other things like the diamonds that show up in HOV lanes, that shows up as well. Handicap parking spots. So just a bunch of cool little things. And then to go along with all that, for whatever reason, they included garbage cans. Like city-provided garbage cans show up on your screen. I don't really understand why that is included of all things, but hey, it's still a fun little party trick. One of the new options is that if you honk, the car will automatically save the dash cam clips. Just go into safety and security, down to dash cam, and then save clips on honk. If you like to stream games and things like that, or watch games that are being streamed, Twitch is now a new option in the Tesla Theater. And then if you go over to the arcade, there are two new games. There's Stardew Valley and Backgammon. Along with that, some more fun stuff. If you go in to the toy box, there's now a thing called Tracks. This takes a second to load.
And this is where your inner musician gets to come out.
We don't really know how to do it. We've played around with it a little bit, but you can play around and you can change things, add, crash symbols and things like that. There we go. We're pretty good.
Not really.
Yeah, we have no idea what we're doing. And then voice commands. I personally feel like this is overdue, but I'm glad that it's actually happening. You can either click the right scroll wheel at any time or swipe over and tap this here. Turn the seated heats off. I do that again. Why do I always do that? And it did something with the heat, but I don't... Let's try that again. Oh my gosh.
Turn the heated seats off. Turn the passenger seat heater on.
Adjust the mirrors. Adjust the steering wheel. Adjust the steering wheel. Oh, there it is. There are some things as well that I think should be enabled, but currently aren't. I understand not having them available while driving, but things like open the front trunk, open the charge port.
It is open, we're charging.
Oh. Duh. I feel like an idiot. Oh well. Moving on to Model Y, there were actually quite a few sightings this week. There was one in particular that was a little bit different, and it was because it had a VIN sticker on the side. So it said VIN number 594. I have no idea if Tesla's even made anywhere near that many Model Ys. I doubt it. I don't know where they'd all be. I know we've seen a bunch on the road, but nearly 600 models is quite a few. And then along with that, it mentions it's 74 kilowatt hour battery. So we know that the battery is the same size as the Model 3. Going back to the VIN thing, I do think it would be awesome if for some reason they're already pumping out Model Ys and they've got them stored somewhere. Let it be known that I don't actually think that's happening. I just think it would be awesome with, like during the fourth quarter earnings update or the earnings call, they were just like, oh yeah, by the way, there's 1,000 Model Ys ready to go. I don't expect that to happen, but would still be cool. And then going to Model 3 really fast. So Gigafactory 3 in Shanghai, they should be getting cars delivered on the 30th of this month. So that's the same day that this video is going to drop. I won't have it for this actual video clip, but there's a good chance that made in China Model 3s are actually being delivered. So there was a music video released this week by Travis Scott and the Jack Boys called Gang Gang. You're welcome to go watch it. But it includes the Cybertruck and the Tesla ATV. I don't know how they pulled that off, but still pretty cool that they were able to do that. And I'm going to start a new little segment, how I do the Supercharger update. But this one I'm just going to call Elon Tweets. And this week for Elon Tweets is that Elon mentioned that Disney Plus should be coming soon to Tesla Theater. Another one that I'd really, really like that's supposed to be coming is the ability to see the cameras when you're parking in a tight place. So these side cameras, you've got one right here. I don't know if you can see my hand, but you've got one right here that faces backwards. And then you've got another one right back in this B pillar here, which faces diagonally forwards at an angle. That's redundant, diagonally at an angle. But this could really help with parking in tight places. Sometimes when you fold in your mirrors, like I do in my garage, because it's so narrow, it's kind of hard to see how close I am to one side or another. But if the mirrors are folded in and it still showed up on the screen, that would be great. I'd love that. So hopefully we see that in the next few software updates. And one thing that I'm kind of disappointed by is that in a tweet, Elon said that there's not going to be multi-point navigation. For somebody like me who drives a ton and does a lot of road trips, I'd really like it to give me options to put in multiple waypoints. And then this isn't Tesla related, but it links directly to that tweet that I was just mentioning, is there's a program called A Better Route Planner. If you have an EV, I highly recommend it. It's a very simple program, but it lets you put in a bunch of different options of what you want your starting depart charge to be, or where you want to go, or things like that. It will even let you choose if you're going to make a longer stop somewhere. They finally came out saying that they have an app. If you want that, it's both for Android and iOS. From what I hear, Android's still kind of buggy. Hopefully they release an update pretty quick for that. But either way, it's an option. And that pretty much sums it up for the week. It was a pretty short week. There were some Supercharger updates. There were 2 permits issued in the U.S. and 1 in New Zealand. For construction, there are 2 in the U.S. and 1 in Canada. For openings, there were 3 in Canada, 5 in South Korea, 5 in the U.S., 1 in Spain, 1 in Iceland, and 1 in Taiwan. So thank you so much for watching. I appreciate it. If you have any questions or comments, please let me know. I try to get these out as quickly as I can. I also try to not add too much fluff because I want to be able to get the information to you without having clickbait or anything like that. Thank you again, and as always, have a great week. I'll see you in the next one.